This lecture is on the trachea and primary bronchi. So starting with the trachea then. Now the trachea is sometimes more commonly called the windpipe. And this is the passage for air that follows the larynx. And it is a tough, flexible tube. And it is reinforced by C-shaped rings of cartilage. So here's what I mean by that. So if here you're going to be doing a slice through the trachea like this, and then looking from the viewpoint of somebody's head. So here is the anterior view, here is the posterior view. You are now going to be looking down at somebody's trachea. So here is that big open hole, but what I am getting at is that in the front, I'm going to be using blue for cartilage here. There is this cartilage that goes nearly the whole way around like this. And then at the back, there is just some soft tissue of one variety or another. So you'll have the tube closed that way. So here, as I said, we have the trachea. Here's the posterior view. Here's the anterior view. So as I said, this is anterior. And what we have here then is the cartilage ring. So the trachea is reinforced by numerous little cartilage rings like that up and down its length. So then, at its bottom, the trachea divides into two primary bronchi. So the primary bronchi then are, as I said, at the bottom of the trachea. So here we have the trachea reinforced by rings of cartilage, which I'm just going to be indicating like so. And then at the bottom, you have the two primary bronchi, which I am overdrawing here. They're actually not long at all. But in any case, there they are. So there we have the two primary bronchi, this of course being the trachea. So at the bottom of the trachea then, the trachea divides to form the two primary bronchi. And the primary bronchi then have a structure that is similar to that of the trachea. So you still have this reinforcement by cartilage rings going on with the primary bronchi as well. So as I said, we still have the C-shaped cartilage rings being used for reinforcement in the very short primary bronchi. So in humans, then, the right primary bronchus has a larger diameter, and it descends toward the lung at a steeper angle. So it goes more down. Basically, I have drawn this in here. You remember you're looking at this person. So this is the right and this is the left. And here you see the right primary bronchus. So that there is the right primary bronchus right there. And you can see that I have drawn it descending at a steeper angle and being wider. What does that do? So, therefore, because of this wider diameter and the steeper descent, then, therefore, foreign objects, if you inhale something that you shouldn't, those foreign objects then tend to wind up in the right bronchus. Rather than the left. So if something happens to wind up in the trachea that is not air, odds are it will go here rather than there. And then before branching further, then, the primary bronchi travel to the lungs. So let's draw this out now. So you have the last bit of the trachea, you have the two primary bronchi like so, and then I am just going to draw the lungs and the beginnings of the lungs as boxes here. We'll get more into the lungs in another lecture, but the point is that the primary bronchi are very short, and they very rapidly just enter the lungs like this. But in this area in here, then, at the junction between a primary bronchus and the lung, then I'll just say a composite area forms called the root of the lung. So right in here and right in here, then we have what is known as the root of the lung. So in the root of the lung, then, you have lots of different structures coming together here. So this, then, is basically a junction, then, composed of blood vessels, and these will be pulmonary blood vessels. So, composed of blood vessels and nerves, and anchored by connective tissue. So in this area, then, you have blood vessels coming in, you have nerves coming in. And you have the whole thing held together by the connective tissue. So all those different things are kind of coalescing at the same place here. And this then is what makes up the root of the lung. And that is it for this lecture.